haunted houses and otherworldly encounters, 5 chilling horror stories.
1. The Shapeshifter's Game. The distant echo of a wolf's howl carried through the dense woods, sending a shiver down my spine as I huddled around the campfire with my friends. We had embarked on a camping trip deep in the heart of the wilderness, seeking adventure and escape from the chaos of the city. Little did we know that our journey would take a horrifying turn as we played the Shapeshifter's Game. The night air was chilly, and the flames cast eerie, flickering shadows across our faces. We were a group of 6 childhood friends reuniting after years apart. The crackling campfire was a sanctuary against the encroaching darkness. It began innocently enough, a whispered tale about a local legend, a shapeshifter rumored to roam these woods, assuming the forms of those it encountered. We laughed it off as a campfire story, a way to add an element of excitement to our trip. But then the incidents began, subtle and unsettling. Small objects would go missing only to reappear in unexpected places. Footprints in the dirt didn't match the hiking boots we all wore. And most disturbing of all, strange sounds would echo through the night. Voices that mimicked our own. Paranoia crept into our conversations, and we began to doubt each other's intentions. Was someone playing a prank? Or was there something more sinister at play? One evening, as we sat around the campfire, the atmosphere grew tense. A friend's eyes darted nervously, and he accused another of acting strangely, of saying and doing things out of character. The accusation sent shockwaves through the group, as each of us began to question whether one among us could be the shapeshifter. Fear and suspicion tore at the bonds of friendship that had held us together for so long. We decided to play the Shapeshifter's Game, a test to determine the truth. Each of us would reveal a deeply personal secret, something no one else could know, and the Shapeshifter would be unable to replicate it. The secrets were revealed with a heavy heart, and each revelation cut deeper than the last. We bared our souls, laying bare our fears, regrets, and insecurities. But as the game continued, the atmosphere grew increasingly tense, the shadows of doubt lengthening. Then it happened. A friend revealed a secret that had never been shared with anyone else. The shapeshifter was among us, and it was desperate to maintain its facade. Panic set in as we realized that we had unknowingly given the shapeshifter the ammunition it needed to blend in. Chaos erupted as we turned on one another, accusing and accusing again. The night seemed to stretch on forever, a relentless cycle of fear and mistrust. Our campfire dwindled to embers, casting eerie shadows on our faces as we circled one another, searching for any sign of deception. But the shapeshifter was cunning, and it continued to mimic our behaviors and speech. Each time we thought we had identified it, it slipped away, leaving us more uncertain than ever. As dawn broke, and the first light of day pierced the darkness, we were left exhausted and shattered. The shapeshifter had eluded us, its identity still a mystery. We had become prisoners of our own paranoia, our friendship fractured beyond repair. We left the wilderness behind, haunted by the horrors of that night. The Shapeshifter's Game forever etched into our memories. We may have escaped with our lives, but the scars of that fateful camping trip would linger, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk within even the closest of friends. 2. The Living Tattoo. My body had always been a canvas, a living testament to the stories and experiences of my life. Each tattoo etched into my skin held its own significance, a piece of my identity and a symbol of my journey. But little did I know that my tattoos would come to life, each with a dark personality and a thirst for control that would turn my existence into a waking nightmare. It started innocently enough, a subtle movement beneath my skin, a flicker of life within the ink. At first I dismissed it as a trick of the light or a figment of my imagination. But as days turned into weeks, the sensations grew stronger, more distinct. One by one, my tattoos began to awaken, the dark personalities emerging with a malevolent force. The serpent coiled around my arm slithered with a sinister intent, its eyes filled with a hunger that sent shivers down my spine. The fierce tiger on my chest bared its teeth, its growl a chilling echo in the depths of my mind. I could feel their presence, their consciousness merging with my own. They whispered in hushed, ominous tones, each tattoo vying for control, each with its own sinister agenda. The tattoos would move of their own accord, their inked forms shifting and writhing on my skin. The dragon on my back unfurled its wings, its fiery breath scalding my flesh. The tribal patterns on my arms twisted and contorted, forming grotesque faces that leered at me with malevolent glee. I tried to hide my predicament from those around me, but the tattoos were relentless. They would manifest themselves in the most inconvenient and unsettling ways, drawing attention and alarm from those who saw them. As the tattoos' influence over me grew, I began to lose control of my own body. It was as if they were pulling the strings, manipulating my actions and decisions. I watched in horror as I carried out their sinister bidding, unable to resist their dark will. Desperation drove me to seek help, but the tattoos were always one step ahead. They would manipulate my speech, twisting my words to make me seem irrational and unstable. Friends and family grew distant, convinced that I had lost my sanity. The tattoos reveled in their control over me, their dark personalities growing more dominant with each passing day. I was a prisoner in my own body, a vessel for their malevolent desires. In a final, desperate bid for freedom, I sought out a tattoo artist rumored to possess the knowledge to reverse the curse. The artist's studio was dimly lit, filled with the eerie sound of buzzing tattoo machines. As the artist worked, I felt a surge of pain unlike anything I had ever experienced. The tattoos fought back with a ferocity that was terrifying. The dragon on my back roared in defiance, its fiery breath scorching my flesh. The serpent on my arm coiled with a menacing strength, its venomous bite sending waves of agony through my body. But the artist was relentless, his skill and determination unwavering. With each painstaking stroke of the needle, he worked to sever the connection between me and the tattoos, to banish their dark personalities once and for all. The battle raged on, the pain and torment reaching unbearable heights. But in the end, the artist emerged victorious. The tattoos were banished, their dark personalities extinguished, leaving me battered and scarred, but finally free. I left the tattoo artist's studio with a sense of relief and gratitude, knowing that I had escaped a fate worse than death. My body was no longer a canvas for malevolence, and I could finally reclaim control of my own life. But the scars of that harrowing ordeal would remain with me forever, a chilling reminder of the power that can lurk within the most innocuous of ink designs and the darkness that can consume even the most vibrant of identities. 3. The mysterious fog. The town of Ravenswood had always been a place of tranquility, where generations of families lived in harmony and the memories of our ancestors were etched into every street and building. But one fateful night, the town was enveloped by an unnatural fog, and what emerged from its depths would shatter our peaceful existence forever. The fog arrived without warning, rolling in from the nearby woods with an eerie, otherworldly silence. At first, we dismissed it as a passing weather phenomenon, a trick of nature. But as it thickened, clinging to the town like a sinister veil, we knew that something was horribly wrong. I watched in horror as the fog swallowed the familiar landmarks of Ravenswood, erasing them from sight. It crept through the streets, seeping into homes and businesses, and the world around me seemed to blur and fade. Then came the whispers, the haunting, unintelligible murmurs that filled the air, carrying with them a sense of dread and foreboding. It was as if the fog itself was alive, a malevolent entity with a will of its own. As the fog thickened, it began to affect our memories. People would forget the names of their loved ones, the places they had grown up, and the memories that had once defined them. I watched in horror as the very essence of our town, our history, and our identity slipped away like grains of sand through our fingers. The fog's influence went beyond mere memory loss. It awakened ancient, malevolent entities that had lain dormant beneath the town for centuries. They emerged from the depths of our collective unconsciousness, twisted and monstrous beings that thrived on fear and chaos. The once peaceful town of Ravenswood became a place of nightmarish horror. The entities that had awakened from the depths of our forgotten past began to torment us, appearing as grotesque, shadowy figures in the fog. They whispered chilling promises of pain and suffering, their voices echoing in our minds. People began to vanish, their bodies disappearing into the fog, leaving behind only empty houses and forgotten lives. The entities fed on our fear, growing more powerful with each victim they claimed. Desperation gripped the town as we realized that we were powerless against the fog and the malevolent entities it had unleashed. We banded together, determined to uncover the truth behind the curse that had befallen us. In our search for answers, we had uncovered a dark secret. A forgotten ritual that had been performed by our ancestors. A ritual that had bound the malevolent entities to the town for all eternity. It was a curse born of ancient fear and superstition, and it was now exacting its terrible price. With a sense of grim determination, we set out to break the curse, to banish the fog and the malevolent entities forever. It was a perilous journey into the heart of darkness, a battle against the very forces that had once defined our town. As we confronted the malevolent entities in a final, desperate showdown, the fog itself seemed to recoil in agony. The entities wailed in torment, their twisted forms dissipating into nothingness. With a surge of collective will, we shattered the curse, breaking the ancient bonds that had held the malevolent entities captive. The fog dissipated, leaving behind a town forever changed by the horrors it had witnessed. Ravenswood would never be the same. The memories of the past were forever lost, replaced by a chilling void of forgetfulness. But we were free from the malevolent entities that had haunted us, a town that had survived the nightmare of the mysterious fog, forever scarred by the darkness that had threatened to consume us all. 4. The Midnight Library. The Midnight Library had always been a place of whispers and secrets, its towering shelves holding the weight of countless stories, both written and unwritten. As the librarian, I had heard the tales of restless spirits and dark apparitions that haunted its dimly lit corridors, but nothing could have prepared me for the horror that awaited me one fateful night. It was well past midnight when I heard the creaking of the library's ornate doors, their massive wooden frames swinging open with a haunting groan. I rushed to investigate, my heart pounding in my chest as I entered the main hall. The library was bathed in an eerie, otherworldly glow, the shelves stretching endlessly into the darkness. I could feel a palpable sense of unease in the air, as if the very walls of the library were alive with malevolent intent. As I ventured deeper into the library, I heard faint whispers, the ghostly echoes of tormented souls trapped within its confines. It was then that I realized the library had manifested the darkest fears of those who had entered, twisting their deepest anxieties into horrifying realities. The first encounter came in the form of a nightmarish creature, a grotesque amalgamation of human and beast, its eyes filled with an insatiable hunger. It lunged at me with a feral, unnatural strength, its taloned hands reaching for my throat. I fought back with a desperation born of terror, my mind racing to comprehend the horror that surrounded me. The creature's malevolent presence seemed to seep into my very soul, filling me with a sense of dread and despair. As I continued to explore the library's labyrinthine corridors, I encountered more twisted manifestations of fear. I saw a room filled with crawling spiders, their countless legs skittering across the floor. Another chamber was engulfed in flames, the heat and smoke choking the life out of me. The library had become a living nightmare, a place where the boundaries between reality and illusion blurred. I was trapped within its malevolent grasp, forced to confront my own deepest fears and regrets. It was then that I realized the library was a reflection of my own past, a manifestation of the guilt and sorrow that had haunted me for years. I had harbored a terrible secret, a sin that had left me feeling unworthy of redemption. As I delved deeper into the library's depths, I encountered the spirits of those who had been trapped within its nightmarish grasp. They pleaded with me for release, their voices filled with pain and anguish. I knew that I had to confront my own past to save them and myself. In the heart of the library, I faced my darkest fear, a spectral version of myself, tormented and twisted by guilt. It accused me of my sins, of the terrible secret I had buried deep within my soul. With a heavy heart and trembling hands, I confessed my sin, acknowledging the pain and suffering I had caused. As I did, the library's malevolent grip began to loosen, and the tormented spirits were set free, their anguished cries fading into the darkness. The library seemed to sigh in relief, its haunted corridors returning to a semblance of normalcy. But I knew that the scars of that night would never truly heal, that the Midnight Library would forever be a place of darkness and regret. I left the library with a heavy heart, forever changed by the horrors I had witnessed. The haunted library had shown me the darkest corners of my own soul, a chilling reminder that our past can never truly be escaped, and our sins can come back to haunt us in the most terrifying of ways. 5. The Possessed Toy Store. When I first acquired the old toy store on the corner of Elm Street, I had grand dreams of turning it into a haven for children's imagination. Little did I know that the toys that lined its shelves carried a malevolent presence, one that would awaken and torment me in ways I could never have imagined. The toy store, with its faded sign and dusty windows, had been abandoned for years. Inside, the shelves were packed with rows upon rows of forgotten playthings, their plastic eyes and painted smiles hiding a sinister secret. I should have sensed the darkness that clung to the place, but my ambition to revive the store blinded me to the horrors that lay within. It was on the first night, as I was cleaning the shelves and organizing the toys, that I heard the whispers, a chorus of hushed voices that seemed to emanate from the very dolls and action figures themselves. I froze in terror, my heart pounding as I listened to the incoherent murmurs. As the days passed, the toys' malevolent presence grew more pronounced. I would enter the store in the morning to find them arranged in unsettling patterns, as if they had a will of their own. The stuffed animals would leer at me with their glassy eyes, their plush limbs contorted into unnatural positions. The customers who ventured into the store spoke of strange occurrences, dolls that moved on their own, toy cars that sped across the floor without explanation, and eerie laughter that echoed through the aisles. But I dismissed their stories as mere superstition, refusing to believe that the toys themselves could be responsible. It was only when I began to have vivid, disturbing dreams that I realized the truth. In my sleep, I would find myself surrounded by the haunted toys, their voices merging into a cacophony of malevolent laughter. They would torment me, their plastic limbs twisting and contorting into grotesque forms. Desperation drove me to investigate the toys' origins. I uncovered a chilling history. The toy store had once belonged to a toy maker rumored to dabble in dark and forbidden arts. He had imbued the toys with a malevolent energy, binding them to his will. As I delved deeper into the toy maker's history, I discovered that he had met a gruesome end. His body found amidst the wreckage of a fire that had consumed his workshop. But the toys had survived, their malevolent presence lingering on. I knew that I had to break the curse that bound the toys to the store, to banish the malevolent energy that had tormented me. Armed with this newfound knowledge, I embarked on a perilous journey to confront the dark forces that lurked within. The final confrontation took place within the heart of the toy store, a battleground where the haunted toys unleashed their full malevolence. They came to life, their eyes glowing with a sinister light, their voices a nightmarish chorus of torment. With a heavy heart and trembling hands, I confronted the toy maker's spirit, the source of the curse that bound the toys. The battle that ensued was a nightmarish whirlwind of plastic limbs and malevolent energy, a desperate struggle to break free from the toys' grasp. In the end, I emerged victorious, the toy maker's spirit banished, and the curse broken. The toys fell silent, their malevolent presence dissipating into the air. The toy store was finally free from the darkness that had plagued it for so long. But the scars of that harrowing ordeal would remain with me forever, a chilling reminder that even the most innocent of playthings can harbor a malevolent presence, and that the past can come back to haunt us in the most terrifying of ways. Which story caught your attention the most? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay safe. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Check out my website in the description below to see what I'm writing. And just below there are some suggestions related to what we talked about today. Peace.